Hello, it's Alex and welcome to Hey Little Thrifter. I'm back with another Point Horror video, and today we're going to be looking at some of the authors that only had like 1 to 3 books within the series. So today we're going to be looking at the authors that maybe only had a couple of books in the Point Horror series, and there are quite a few, so I thought I would split this section up into 3 separate videos and I'll focus on several of the books in each of these videos. And first up, I wanted to mention the 3 short story collections that came out in the original Point Horror series. We have the first one, 13 Tales of Horror, which came out in 1992. Then we have 13 More Tales of Horror, which came out in 1994. And finally, 13 Again, which came out in 1995. So each of these books contains 13 short stories, and in the first one we have some familiar names like R.L. Stine and Diane Ho, and there's also a really great short story in there by Christopher Pike. And the second 2 volumes have some other horror names like Graham Masterton and Lisa Tuttle. There's also a story in one of them by Philip Pullman, who wrote His Dark Materials. And yeah, so some familiar names, even if they're not familiar to the world of Point Horror per se. But these are some really great short story collections, quite a wide range of themes and ideas, and yeah, they're really good fun. I think my favourite of the 3 covers has to be 13 Again. Even though I hate spiders, I really like this cover with this terrifying spider in the spider's web in the circle of the number 3. Next up, there are 3 novels by the author A. Bates, and this is the pen name for Orleen Bates, and she is a writer of YA horror fiction, and she wrote some other titles as well as the ones that were released in the Point Horror series. And in alphabetical order, first up we have The Dead Game, which came out in 1994. Someone is playing for keeps. And this is about a group of friends at high school, and they start something called the Dead Game, which involves them getting back at bullies and people who deserve to be humiliated in public maybe. But the game goes too far and accidents start to happen. You can never go wrong in having a moonlit cemetery on a book cover. Next up is Crazy for You, which came out in 1997. She Used to Be Dead popular. This is about Abby. She starts receiving some strange phone calls and threatening letters, and it turns out that someone might be really obsessed with her, obsessed enough to kill her. I kind of love the fact that crazy is spelt with a K, and this slashed up photo inside someone's locker. And the last book by A. Bates is Mother's Helper, which came out in 1992. Rockabye Bye Baby. This is about Becky. She thinks she's got the perfect summer job. She's going to be working as a mother's helper on a holiday island, but things don't turn out so well. Accidents start happening and, you guessed it, strange phone calls occur, and her dream job quickly turns into a nightmare. I like this title with the alternating capitals and lowercase letters, and then this teddy bear in amongst all of these leaves. Yeah, it's kind of a dark and ominous cover. And lastly for this video, I'm going to talk about the author D.E. Athkins, and I think even as a kid I thought that this must have been a pen name, like it was just too good to be true. Deathkins, I mean, it's just amazing. And this is the pen name for an author named Nola Thacker, who has apparently written many other books for children and young adults. And yeah, they wrote 2 books for the Point Horror series, the first of which was The Bride, which originally came out in 1997, Till Death Do You Part. This is about Jamie. She is incredibly excited to be invited to her cousin's wedding. Her cousin is a gorgeous supermodel and she's getting married to some handsome gentleman, and it's going to be a fairy tale wedding. But things go wrong pretty quickly. It seems like someone is out to sabotage the wedding, and all clues point to the ghost of a dead bride. Honestly, not my favourite cover, but it's still pretty cool, and I like the fact that it has a bit more of a unique colour palette with the yellows and oranges. And the second novel by D.E. Athkins is The Cemetery from 1993. Don't Look Behind You. It's about a group of teenagers who go to their local cemetery to play a game of hide and seek on Halloween night. What could go wrong? One of them gets killed and the rest of them have to try and survive the night. This is definitely one of my all-time favourite point horror covers. I remember as a kid just finding everything about this exciting and alluring. So those were several more of the books in the Point Horror series. I will be back next month with another video looking at some more. Let me know if you've read any of these and tell me which one was your favourite. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!